Give me the code and let me order it, and I'm good.
You know what? I just had a realization. This episode right here, I have just realized.
Yes.
Bronzy, we're
What?
old.
No, you can't
We're
say that
old. We're old. I'm not going to
because
the
this stuff
Not
is not
Beauty
for
pop
us.
up. You not going to go get the Cortez. Just give me the shit in my hand and let me go about my business.
Yes, I don't have
We're
time.
old.
What's up, Janelle?
Hey, Bronzy.
How is it going? How are you doing?
I am hanging in.
You should be
Um,
doing more than hanging in this week. You just got back from traveling.
Listen,
Yeah, how was that? I need
that
all the.
was, yeah. So I went to Mexico City for the however manyth time.
Yeah.
Um, had a really, really great time. Had a lot of great food, a lot of great wine, did a little shopping, did the little hot air balloon and all that kind of stuff.
Cute.
And was avoiding getting sick the whole time. So I went with earsies,
Hmm.
and the whole time we were stressing about, getting sick out there. And why did I get sick? The literal
Wait, why
last
was y'all
day.
stressing about getting sick?
Because
Y'all was
on
just like,
TikTok, everybody on
oh,
TikTok talking about getting sick and all that kind of stuff,
oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like getting food poisoning. So we were just very careful, or at
yeah.
least
Okay.
I thought I was being very careful. And the last day, I'm talking about like the day that we flew back, I got food poisoning.
So
So
you was out there eating beef tartare and tuna
that's exactly
tartare
what did
and
it. I went to this place
how did
that we
I
saw on
know?
TikTok. I ordered the like beef tartare tacos I don't know what it was, but
Yeah,
just,
some
being extra. And that flight back was rough. Okay.
got you. That's crazy. I had a similar experience, but different. Because I went to Aruba for my friend's
Hmm.
wedding. I think I mentioned that. And my flight back was rough too, but for different reasons. The night before was the wedding. And
Oh
so,
yeah. You gotta build in a buffer after a wedding like
yeah,
that.
I wasn't, I don't know what I was thinking. It was wild, but we made it. But did you enjoy your time? You enjoy your
I
time
did.
away, disconnecting?
I had a lot of fun. I was able to disconnect for the most part. I took my laptop, but I think I might have opened it like once or twice,
Hmm.
which was very refreshing. Yeah, and got another trip coming up this weekend. It's a shorter trip, heading to LA to see Beyonce in concert. So I'm looking
Oh, you're
forward
going
to
this
that.
weekend?
I am. I'm going this weekend.
I don't want to hear anything about it. I'm trying my darndest to not
How have
be
you
on
not
social.
like last night? If you opened up any app, it was all over. I was just like, damn, like, you
Yeah,
know,
I mean, it's inevitable. Like you're going to see, but I have to be intentional about like scrolling through. As hard as it is,
yeah. Well, how are
but
you?
it looked great. Kind of the same. I'm hanging in, as you like to say. No, I'm doing great. Um, Beautiful weather. That always helps. This weekend, I saw all my people. So my goddaughter, nieces and
Mhm.
nephews. My mom's birthday was this weekend, so that's always feeling like when you get that time in with family and stuff like that. So all in all, feeling pretty good.
Good.
Busy week, but wouldn't have it any other way.
I would. Busy week over here too, but I would have it other
That's,
ways.
I mean, yeah, that's valid. I would as well. I would have it many other ways. Yeah, checkmate on that. But we have some things to get into this week in Above the Fold. Lots of interesting things that I think we can dive into. Are you ready to unpack?
Let's do it.
All
Um,
right.
so first on the agenda was something that literally came out, or the news dropped right after we recorded the last episode. So SZA, and we talk a lot about this space. So SZA um, has launched her own beauty line called Not Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that? The it looks like it's a line of, right now at least, just kind of like lip glosses, because
Mm-hmm.
apparently she's known for her lip gloss. I don't. When I think of SZA, I don't think of lip gloss, but
Okay.
sure. Um, and I thought, the name and not beauty, and then the visual aesthetics of it being very like nature, nature forward, which is her thing. She likes dressing up as a bug, and she got bugs on tour. Excuse me, tour
Yes.
with her.
She has
Sure.
bugs on tour with her. It's crazy.
Yeah, I saw some like it looked like praying mantis on stilts at the concert.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to that concert too, and I'm just like, okay, not too much of that. Them tickets were expensive.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
we'll see. We'll see how it all comes together. But you will know how I feel about this space. It's the same way I feel about tequila. It's just like it's oversaturated. We don't need another celebrity makeup line. We really don't. Like we only got but so many faces, so much skin. Like I only got
It's only
one,
but
one
so
set of lip.
much.
Yeah, there's but
that
so
you're
much
gonna be able
makeup
to.
I can wear.
Okay, that was my initial reaction, and not that my positioning has changed on exactly everything you said. Like I'm tired. You only got but so much skin, but I feel like she's testing the market, and this is the reason why I say she didn't go like it's direct to consumer, but not in a way where you can go to scissor.com and order it. You're only able to purchase this if you go to one of the tour stops
For now.
for now. But I think this is an opportunity for them to see what the market is liking or isn't liking. Obviously, people are posting about it on TikTok because it feels exclusive. Being that like, oh, you can't just order it. You got to go to the concert in order to be able to purchase this. And then people are giving real life feedback like, oh, I like it. I don't like it. This is what I like about it, blah, blah, blah. But I think SZA and team, they're able to say, okay, should we keep this? Should we build upon it? Is it a market for it? Even if it's a niche market, is it just for my fan base or should we expand on this? So I think they're doing a great job in like their intention and how they're rolling it out, and not just being like, oh, this is a beauty brand and we're going all of these things and mascara and this and that and all the things that come with it.
Yeah.
For that reason, I'm not mad at how she's approaching the space while still it remains like, is this what we need?
I'll give her that as far as like the rollout of it, just like kind of testing and learning. Number one, well, two things. I think, yeah, I agree with that point. And that like if you are going to play in this space, then you need to approach it from a different, more strategic way than anybody else in the industry, or just differently. The other thing is that I do think like I'm not the target consumer for this product, right? I think that
Yeah,
this is
that's
for
fair.
preteens and teens and people who had their parents drive them to the pop-up, right?
Yes.
And I could see preteen me telling my mom like, oh, but it's not makeup, it's not beauty, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's very natural and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, like I could so see making that argument, or like teenagers making that argument, and it being for them. And even thinking about like how many 30 something year olds driving to go to a pop-up to get some lip gloss from SZA. Like it's just not
Right.
for
Yeah.
for me. But yeah, to your point, I think it's smart that like she's physically there at all the pop-ups right now. It's only popping up in cities that the tour is in right now. We'll see after the tour, or halfway through the tour, however long it takes for them to have a broader rollout, what that looks like. I did see a funny tweet about the line, in that because when she first came out, she was putting on them fake freckles and lying about them not being fake freckles.
Yeah. Line.
Got it, lying. And someone mentioned that this was a missed opportunity for her to like come out with like a freckle pin or something like that. Just like jokingly, of course.
Oh yeah.
But just what other? I'm interested to see what other spaces she goes into with the makeup line and how she continues to roll it out. But I still think it's an oversaturated market, and there are a lot more interesting things about SZA than her lips and her lip gloss
Yeah,
application
for
that she could
sure.
have tapped into.
Yeah, I think historically the reason why celebrities jump to beauty is I think there's a lower barrier to entry, especially if you can throw your name behind it.
Hmm.
But there are several beauty brands that have launched and they're just sitting there. Like you walk in Sephora, you're overwhelmed. Like
Yeah.
what do I do? Which one? So
Yeah.
yeah, +1 to all that. Literally +1.
Yeah. Well, staying on the R&B girlies, right? This is an R&B girly, even though she dabbles in other things. But
Yeah, let her tell it. She's not, but she is.
oh, okay. Anyway, it was announced last week that Ari Lennox has left Dreamville. She's
Thank
staying with,
God.
yeah, Interscope. It was more than time.
Yeah.
Um, but it kind of like got me back to a question that I think we've posed on this podcast before, which is, do artists sign to artist run labels, do they ever really like get their just due and get the attention that they need and deserve, right?
Oh, that's hard
Mm-hmm.
because there are other people on Dreamville that I feel like they pushed and they're
Like who?
jid.
Kinda. Where's he been?
I mean, more so than Ari. I mean, you're
Okay. I
right.
mean, but the bar is in
You're right. I
hell.
think, ye- well, yeah. I mean, hmm, that's
Is it
hard.
JID or is it JID? Sometimes I go back and
It's
forth, but
J.
either
I'd
way,
go back and forth too. Was it JID or JID? Almighty don't know either. None of us know.
whatever. So he's just gonna be JID for this episode. But yeah, like I feel like he could and should be a much bigger star than he is.
Mhm.
Um, but I do think that he's probably the one that they push the most. But they got like Earth Gang over there. What they up
Yes.
to? Didn't they have like Boz is over there? What's he up to?
Yeah, I think you raise a good point, and I want to venture to say no. In comparison, like when you're comparing artists that aren't signed to an artist ran label,
Hmm.
it feels like they get. I mean, especially in today's age, like obviously in the 2000s, that was different because that was. I think the time period when that was new, it was fresh. Artists were hungry to build like labels and push
Hmm.
their artists. I'm not even gonna name him, but we can think about who those folks were.
Yeah.
Today it feels different, even when it comes to like a Chloe or, I mean, Chloe when they were a duo, I feel like they got more during that first EP and run and stuff like that. But the pandemic, this is a hard question to answer. No, it's not. Looking
Yeah,
at it,
like
no.
exactly, because it's just like, especially like, and I mean, primarily if the artist who's running the label is active, because like they just don't have the time unless they're building these massive teams, which you would think they would be. But like, for example, like PG Lang, Baby Keem is over there. Now I don't know what the holdup with Baby Keem's album is, but you
Hmm.
can't convince me that Kendrick Lamar is that focused on Baby Keem right now with the massive year that he's had in this tour that he's on.
You're
Baby
right.
Keem gonna have to wait a minute.
You're right.
Same thing with Beyonce and Parkwood and whomever she has signed over there at this point. Like I don't know if it's still Chloe
Yeah,
and
she had a
Halle. Just
couple folks at one point, and you never heard anything from them.
I can't even name the other people, but like sis got Cowboy Carter. She's on tour. She she
And
has
even
other
when
things to
she
worry
ain't
about.
on tour, like child, she doing Sacred and Sir Davis and Ivy Park and shooting
Yeah,
videos that ain't coming out and Say Noir and candles and I'm like, she don't have time for nothing.
nothing. So
Proofreading
yeah,
Mama Tina's book.
that's crazy. But But yeah, so all that to say, I'm very happy for Ari Lennox. I'm excited to see what this means for her and her career
Oh
because
wait, I think
what?
she's still with Interscope.
Interscope, yeah.
And then I saw Solange. Did she just post for? Was that like Ari Lennox's birthday? She made like a post
She
dedicated
did.
to Ari Lennox,
She
and that
did
made me
because
feel like,
she had creative directed something for her recently. So that was like the second time I had seen that image, but she did something for her fairly recently.
okay,
Um
okay,
so yeah, I'm not mad at that. Um but I do want Ari to get back in that like first album bag.
hmm
Like that first album really hit. The second album had some bangers on there, had some joints, but
I
it
like
wasn't that
that
first album.
second album actually grew on me. I know that we were talking about that album at one point when
Mm-hmm.
it had first hit because it didn't hit like the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Amadi made me a believer.
Yeah, I mean, I
I like
guess
it.
if you play
I mean,
something
yeah, I
enough, you'll start to like
no.
it.
Listen to it this week and report back.
Okay, I'll listen to it. But again, like some of the singles that I've heard come out recently, I'm just like, I don't know if that's really her bag, but you know, y'all the experts, so y'all tell me.
Yes, yeah, I wasn't feeling too great about what was soft girl
Soft girl, yeah,
era,
yeah, I
and
didn't like
then
that.
also I did like Smoke. Smoke was fine.
I don't remember that one.
Smoke. That's the one she had an issue because she didn't want the video out because she didn't want to be the face of mental health, and the video is kind of with her in a straight jacket type of vibe in a facility and institution. But I'm like, maybe it was
Okay.
hindsight. After it was shot, she realized like, no, I don't want this out. And the label told her they wasn't putting it out. They end up putting it out anyway. So that's where the straw broke the camel's back.
Yeah. The other thing too, I think is like a missed opportunity is what that first album taught us, and just like the way she was using social at the time. Ari Lennox is funny.
Yeah, she is.
Lean into
She
like,
is.
so when you tell me you got her in a straight jacket in a mental health facility, that don't sound funny to me.
Yeah,
That
right.
doesn't sound
You're
fun
right.
to me. You know what I mean? Like lean into the same Ari Lennox that was doing those funny interludes and like going on live and all of that kind of stuff. Like that was
But
a
it
right
is.
space.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and not
You
that it needs to
saying?
be like gimmicky or whatever, but you know what I mean? I remember her on YouTube back in the day. Like she was always a funny girl. You know what I mean?
hmm
And she just happened to be very talented and can sing. Merge
Yeah,
those two worlds.
she is like the Durand, the Issa era, all that kind of like.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. But Smoke was a good song. I think she just had an issue with the visuals because the song is like, I want all the smoke. Like, it was,
So what's she doing in a straitjacket?
you got to get the full context. We'll
Okay.
watch the video.
Okay. Anyway,
I
moving
think
right
she was in a
along.
straight. Now I'm second guessing. Yeah, let's move on.
Um, there have been a couple of recent like high fashion collab announcements and things of that nature. So it's not new news that Miu Miu has a partnership with New Balance. They're now on like season 3 or 4 of that collaboration. But this most recent collab was uh, they shot CoCo Golf. Obviously, she's a New Balance athlete in the product. And
She's
those
the
are
New Balance athlete.
the New Balance athlete. And those are some tennis shoes that I can get behind.
Okay, those shoes I don't
Yeah.
think are the tennis shoes. I think those are the off-court shoes, but we'll go with it. The tennis,
Yeah,
the
but I
shoes she's
told you
gonna
I'd be
wear for
going off
tennis are
court.
gonna.
So
But she's not wearing those to actually play tennis in. She might walk on the court with those, and then she's changing to the. There will be a Miu Miu New Balance CG2 iteration, but those aren't it that you see in the images.
okay, but I want the ones in the image. I think I can do some damage in
I
those.
okay, got you. Though I like those too. Like okay, so yeah, back to the story. So yes, they built a capsule around Coco golf and tennis, and she's going to be wearing these for the early summer swing. So it's like clay court season over in Europe, Rome, Roland Garros, French Open, and then I think she has one more for the beginning of hard court over here in Cincinnati or Toronto, somewhere like that. So it's like three specific capsules or kits, tennis kits that she'll be wearing. Um, and I think she's like the first WTA athlete, period, to have like this luxury house collaboration where she'll be out playing tennis and like have this overall partnership surrounded with it. It takes it a step deeper than the Serena and Virgil. Like I think that was an iteration of this in a way. But that was like a singular design. I don't think there were many elements outside of that that you could go and purchase or that were like a part of a overall capsule. So yeah, I mean, this is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at it. You know, my bougie self. I'm like, yeah, you want me to go play tennis in some Mew Mew? Sure.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
You don't watch Married to Medicine, but when Dr. Heavenly
I know the
Toya
people.
she was a tennis expert, because she was going around the room telling everybody like, we got people in here, we have doctors and we have this person, and she didn't have nothing to say about Toya, but Toya will play tennis like recreationally, and she said tennis experts, but like to the point, yeah, you want to be a tennis expert when it comes to you putting on the Mew Mew. You'll go out and hit. Then I can get you to a court.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think of it? Like I'm gonna cop the shoes for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was super, smart. It made sense because of course Mew Mew already has that partnership with New Balance. CoCo is the face of New Balance, the biggest, the biggest, if not one of the biggest athletes over there.
Yeah, she's the biggest. Yeah.
Is she?
Who's bigger? I mean, they put the most. Yeah, she's the biggest.
Okay.
I would venture to say.
Who else is over there?
Sydney McLaughlin. Who else is over there? Sydney. What's his name? Basketball. Jack Harlow. I don't know how he.
Jack Harlow. You said
Yes.
basketball and then you said Jack Harlow.
No, but no, I wasn't thinking about him.
Oh.
I was thinking about.
I don't know what sports you be watching, but
he does have a partnership with them.
I do remember that. Okay. And you think Coco Golf is bigger than Jack Harlow?
Yeah, like if you're an athletic brand and you want to push,
True. Maybe.
like the athlete. Yeah, she's bigger than him.
Okay. But yeah, so loved it. But that was just one of a few. Well, and then the other person I wanted to talk about while we were still on the topic of Mew Mew is, and I know we've said it before, we're gonna have like a whole like Doechii section of the podcast, but Doechii, I don't know, it hasn't been like officially confirmed or anything, but like Doechii almost like exclusively, it feels like, wears Mew Mew.
Really?
Yeah, go back and take a look. Like, she's a big Mew Mew girl. Her stylist, I'm blanking on his name right now. I think it's like Sam something. Like there's something there. They're working on something there. I don't think it's been officially announced, but I would not be surprised if it is announced.
I was thinking it was going to be Tom Brown, but that was like a one-off. That was like just she did like a sprint with Tom Brown.
Yeah.
I
mean, and maybe this is just a sprint with Mew Mew too, but it's like all over her new video for Anxiety. Like a lot of her red carpet looks and all of that kind of stuff are all Mew Mew. And then staying in the family with Prada, there's been some like hints at a quiet collaboration with Anthony Edwards with Prada. So keeping an eye on this space.
We talked about that last week because he's definitely been teasing like Prada.
Exactly. And I'm wondering why it's like all very much like a tease and like nothing official or very like in your face has come out, or if that's just like part of the strategy. But again, we'll be keeping an eye on that space. And then in that same vein, it was announced that Kendrick is the new face of Chanel. I can't remember if it was Chanel as a whole or just their eyewear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I thought we already knew. It was announced as news, but I could have sworn I saw him in a Chanel jacket with PG Lang Chanel merch like in Paris 2 years
Yes.
ago. What was
Yeah.
that? Okay, that wasn't a fever dream. I
But
didn't make
he's
that up.
no, I think he's been to your point, I think it's been like teased as well without a like maybe that's
Hmm.
the way these fashion houses are doing their taps. Same with ASAP Rocky. Like, well, that was like a shorter time frame, at least from what I could see with Ray Bans.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but I think you're right. I have seen Kendrick Chanel adjacent
Yeah,
before this announcement.
yeah. Like even PG Lang had done a fashion film for them, like a year
Yeah.
plus ago. I
Yep.
remember. So they've been in cahoots for a minute.
Yeah, he's been rocking Chanel. Like I'm looking at this GQ story, and there are a lot of iterations with him. Chanel out,
Yeah.
Chaneled out.
Um, and then before we leave the topic of Kendrick, um, I think it was falsely reported that he was like the first musical artist to like voice or be featured in a Gatorade commercial. But either way, a Gatorade spot came out that launched around the NBA playoffs, and um, he's the voice of it.
I don't think it's ah, you know, I think it's I don't know what I think. That's great.
Yeah.
But did you hear like Gatorade? A lot of sports, a lot of athletes, even some that are signed to Gatorade, don't like Gatorade. Like you'll see Jason Tatum come into a press conference and he'll remove the Gatorade bottle and put it down. I'm like, isn't that out of your? Can you do that if you have a contract
I
with
mean,
them?
he can do
Like,
whatever he wants, but there will definitely be a conversation after
yeah, there's quite a few athletes that I've seen do that,
that will
and they're like,
remove the
I also
Gatorade.
seen someone say, like, get this Gatorade out of here. Kids don't need to be drinking that. Like, the
Huh.
formula for Gatorade has changed. I think
I wonder if it's
since
less about the taste and the formula and all that kind of stuff, and more about the contract specifically, where it's just like contractually, I don't have to mention you in my press conference. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, I'm pretty sure their contracts are very specific around the spaces in which Gatorade needs to be present and talked
oh,
about. And if that's not one of the listed
hmm,
spaces, then get it the fuck out of here because you're not paying me for this.
interesting. Okay, I'm gonna dive deeper into that because I often wonder like, what's y'all's issue with
Yeah.
Gatorade?
Because I have seen that before where like someone has removed a brand or a Gatorade and like put their brand up there. And I'm like, okay, this
Mm,
clearly was not one of the spaces that they negotiated this being a part of.
you know what? Also, Jason Tatum has his own like fruit snacks lines and things like that for kids. So maybe the intention is somewhere around that. I don't know. Maybe he's planning a sports drink. I have no idea.
Interesting. He
But
got fruit snacks.
yeah, they're
Yo,
like healthy because he has a kid. So he's
I
like,
we all know he has a kid. That's the only thing we know about the guy is he has a kid.
and LMA loves him.
Sure. That is, I mean, like, it
You
must
ain't
be
hear that
really
EP she put
difficult.
out?
Yeah, I heard the EP, and I heard it one time and one time only,
Same.
because the
I think I
vibrato
heard
be
it half
killing
a
me.
time.
And
Okay.
I'm like, girl, the voice is shaky. Cut it out.
You have got to be stopped.
But I mean, the way
Yeah.
that like there is nothing else interesting about that guy than his like 4-year-old son
Yeah.
is kind of sad. I really want
You're
more for
right.
him. But okay,
I don't
fruit
think he wants more
snacks.
for himself.
Okay,
Yeah, fruit
well,
snacks.
whatever then. Um, So I know you saw the recent launch of the Cortez Black Honey Air Maxes that he released with
Yes.
Nike. I think he did a big stunt in Harlem. What was
Hmm.
that? Last weekend? This week? I don't know. This past week.
Last week. Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, like Cortez is no stranger to fun, disruptive,
Yeah.
experiential marketing. So, from what I gather, they sent out coordinates to a location. When you got to the location, you were given a number, which gave you access to a school bus that took you to a high school in Harlem where a classroom was outfitted, for the launch of this shoe, and you got to get the shoe. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I enjoy the story. I enjoy the moment. I enjoy the memory. Like you get a core memory from going through this experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's not anything I necessarily want to do, but I know that there's a market for it. People enjoy going out there, going to the coordinate, being like, "Oh, I got to show up. Oh, I get to get on a bus. They took us to the," and they enjoy telling and recounting and having that as a core memory for these shoes that they have.
Yeah.
Give me the code and let me order it, and I'm good.
You know what? I just had a realization. This episode right here, I have just realized.
Yes.
Bronzy, we're
What?
old.
No, you can't
We're
say
old. We're old. I'm not going to
because
the
this stuff
Not
is not
Beauty
for
pop
us.
up. You not going to go get the Cortez. Just give me the shit in my hand and let me go about my business.
Yes, I don't have
We're
time,
old.
but I do like. I do the things that I do like about like okay maybe I'm not the audience for this activation, but I do like the activation. I like the idea of the activation because there is a audience and a market for it.
Okay. So
And
can I ask you a quick question?
yes,
What activation, what brand is getting you up out your house, put shoes on, put clothes on to go get a product? Who would have to be behind it? What does the product have to be?
that's incredibly difficult to say like just off the spur of the moment. It has to be something I really want, and that's the only way that I can get it. Like I plan on trying to get these
Hmm.
Air Maxes.
Yeah,
He sent
online
the
though.
email. Yeah, Wednesday at 11 o'clock. He's gonna send me an email, and then I'm gonna get them. But if I have to go to the coordinates and get on the bus and then go to high school, I don't want to. That no, no, count me out. I won't have them.
Right, because we're old. Exactly. But when I was 10 years younger, maybe I
Hmm.
might have done it. Cuz I'm
Yeah,
already
there was a time.
outside. I'm
There was a
already in the
time when I would
neighborhood.
be standing in line to
Hmm.
get into the store to get the Jordans when they dropped. There was a time I was standing in line to get the iPhone when it dropped because I knew the stores wasn't gonna have them. There was a time.
Yeah, I got to
So yeah, you might be right.
on that note, I got to shout out my grandma because she was standing in line with me for those Jordans and those iPhones, okay? Shout out
Oh
to grandma.
wow! Shout out to her for
She a real
sure.
one.
Yeah, she is a real one. But yeah,
But yeah, there's
love the
not much.
activation
Yeah, I
and
just thinking about it, there's not much that I'm putting on clothes and standing in line for a product, for there. Yeah, those
yeah, and
days
then
are long gone.
I think like Clint, like you said, he does a great job of the doing these marketing pushes and activations. He's not spending millions of dollars, but the impact
Hmm.
is monumental. So I think he's doing a phenomenal job running that brand and the collaborations and things and the drops that he does. It's always something interesting.
Yeah. Well, good luck getting the shoe. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe will I try?
we'll see.
Probably not. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Fair.
Um, so either last episode or the episode before, we talked a little bit about Supreme's most recent collaboration with Ernie Barnes. You already know how I felt about that. Not a fan. And it was just announced last week that they have another collaboration coming with Spike Lee's 40 Acres and a Mule for a capsule collection around um, Malcolm X, and Clockers. I'm going to say it again. I'm not rolling. Not a fan. Who is this for?
What is Supreme doing? I mean, obviously,
I mean, they've always been a brand that just, collabs for the sake of
yeah.
collab. But some of these collabs just aren't making much sense to me. And like, wasn't it just announced? Correct me if I'm wrong. That like Ronnie from Kith is like the new creative director. Did I make that up? Or am I getting my brands mixed up?
Mm, yep, you're right.
But yeah, I just feel like they just
That happened. He was named that. Yeah, this month, March.
that they're just like throwing anything at the wall to see what sticks, and I don't get it. I don't want it. I don't know anybody who wants it, who I could see rocking
So,
this.
do you remember last year there was that incident with the previous creative director, and they were citing like the allegations of systemic racism?
Yeah, I remember when
Is this an
Emery
effort to
Tremaine.
reverse? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is this an effort to kind of do correct
I
the
don't
shit?
know.
Like, are they trying to tap into Spike Lee and
But
like
nobody
these?
is calling them to task for that. Like that thing that came and went. You know what I mean? So like what do y'all, and especially in the era that we're in right now in 2025, like ain't nobody sitting up here trying to
Yeah, or
reverse
course correct combat
what yeah, like
the systemic racism that y'all facing.
nobody is
Nobody's
doing that
thinking
shit.
about anymore. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this will be interesting. What are they? What are they doing? What is it? A spot? A
I
jacket?
don't know. It's probably gonna be a spot. It looks like there's a jacket. What else they got here? A jacket with Malcolm X on the back. Um, a baseball jersey looks like some t-shirts.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Just a capsule, something just to do
Yeah.
to sell.
I mean, I guess shout out to Spike Lee, I guess.
I guess.
But, I just think that and we did this exercise last time with Ernie Barnes. Like, there are just so many other brands that he could collab with to do something like this that tell a better story, in my opinion, than collaborating with Supreme.
Oh, you're saying there's
Yeah.
better brands that Spike Lee can do this with. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially just looking at like the core consumer of Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the consumer that we really want walking around with a Malcolm X Letterman jacket?
No, it's not.
I don't want to see that shit.
I mean, it's the same audience that you have the fan base of the Travis Scotts and of the, at one point, maybe still Kanye West, Supreme. I've put all of those like in the same bucket.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Well, speaking of Spike Lee, did you see the Met Gala editorial?
How's he connected?
He's in it.
Spike Lee's connected? Oh, I didn't see it. You saw the full spot? Or just like the editorials?
The editorial.
They did they did like a feature on YouTube as well. And I was watching that. Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, you think they were going to do something on Black Dandies and not have Spike Lee, and shoot it in New York and not have Spike Lee?
You're right. You're right. I did see that.
See something that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes. Something that makes sense. Yeah, that is something that makes sense. Also, the people they tapped in this make sense as well. Lots of us. I mean, but if you're talking about
it's all
dandyism,
us.
who else are you? Right.
Yeah, the whole theme is like Black Dandyism. So
Right.
it was shot. Well, at least most of it was shot. I think maybe one. There are 3 or 4 covers. The ASAP Rocky one was shot by Tyler Mitchell, and it seems like he shot most of the editorial as
Okay.
well. There's a cover that features like an illustration or like a painting of Pharrell. Can't tell you the artist that did it off the top of my head. There was a photographer that did the Coleman Domingo cover, and then I'm blanking on what the fourth cover was, if there was a fourth.
I
And
think there are 4 covers. Then they did like a certain amount of features or spotlights within the the publication. Um, but yeah, they were beautiful images, beautiful styling.
all
And then
styled
even
by
the
Law Roach.
oh wow, all
I believe so. I believe
that's
so.
I mean he ate that.
He did.
He ate that.
You ate that.
Yeah. It tends across the board.
Yeah. When is the Met Gala? I keep seeing like all this
The
stuff.
first
roll out.
Saturday in May, right? Met Gala, first Saturday in May. Or am I
Okay.
making that up? First Monday in May.
First Monday in May.
It's
So
always
coming
the
up.
first Monday in May.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
next
right.
week.
Well, let me put that on the calendar then, so I can stop asking.
Yeah, it should be exciting. This one should be exciting.
It should be. I am a little nervous, and I remember when like the theme first came out, having a theme that's central to race, and then white people gonna be there. I just want to, y'all, be careful. Be careful. The theme is Black
We-
dandyism.
We will be
This can
revisiting
get
this.
this can get
episode
real dicey.
to see how they did.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nobody
God,
do
you're
anything
so right. I
stupid.
didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Did you see? Have you been paying attention to the playoffs?
I have, but not holistically. I've been keeping up with certain series.
Okay, certain series. Yeah, there are only certain series required our attention. I don't want to get into what happened yesterday. Get me all mad, but you know, shout out to the Heat, I guess. But the Timberwolves and the Lakers are playing a series. I think right now the Timberwolves are up 3-1 against the Lakers. That was a really good game if you missed it. But
Yeah.
in game 3, Adidas kind of did an extension of their recent campaign that featured Ice-T and like the whole like investigation, you know, when he
Yep.
dunks on somebody, that whole thing. And they brought that IRL courtside to game 3. So they had like his shoes as evidence after he won and after he had like dunked on somebody. They did something, I think, near the
Yo.
stadium. I thought that was super smart, bringing all of that stuff full circle and actually making it a 360 campaign and not just, you know, social spots that we see every now and then.
Yes, I actually love this. And they had Ice-T at the game. And he's holding like the evidence bag.
Yeah,
Yo, Adidas is really killing it right now.
they are. They really are. I wish some of these other brands would fight back harder.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, this just
They're
goes to
killing it.
show they are. This just goes to show like how much fun you can have with this, though. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to see a little bit more banter back and forth between these brands. We have seen a little bit of it, you know.
I mean, and it's also like it's sport, it's competition. Like brands should lean into that too. Like obviously, we're 2 brands at the top of, you know, the game,
Yeah.
and they should lean into, especially during like playoff season and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
and-
some of your biggest.
Sorry, I was just gonna say
athletes.
like, and I will say like what the Jordan team has been doing with Luka has been pretty good. We haven't really talked about it because Luka ain't black, but
Right.
I guess Michael Jordan is, and it is Jordan brand.
we can do that. We can.
But
that's
like
a nice lens.
the Jordan team has been kind of killing it too. But I think it all comes down to gameplay, right? So like if your team is down 3-1, how
Yeah.
kind
do
of
you
like
say?
in your
What's your-
face and boisterous can the brand really be? You know, so they're kind of handcuffed by just like what's going on the court a bit. But I think up until this point, Jordan has been doing a really good job with Luca. Um, I mean, the um, the Grizzlies got swept, so not really much you can do
Yeah.
there with Ja.
And he just launched a new sneaker.
Yeah,
There
and
was
the sneaker looks
opportunity.
really good too. You know.
Yeah, I like the what they did with the Nike check.
Yeah.
It's like a Ja. It spells Ja, but with
Mm-hmm.
the check being a J. That was cute.
Who else they
But
got
yeah,
over
and
there?
then who? Nike?
Yeah.
Obviously LeBron.
Yeah,
Like
true.
that's they have tons.
Hmm?
Like it's over. Nike has a ton, and they also have people a lot of athletes that have like signature
Yeah.
sneakers and stuff like that. So there's a lot they could do.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. You know, kick the
Did you
playoffs are
see
just
the
kicking off, so there's time.
Yeah, yeah, there is time. Did you see the new Adidas spot with Anthony Edwards and his best friend Nick Maddox?
Was it kind of like a documentary about their friendship or something like that?
Yeah, it's a documentary. Just like more in the life of,
Mm-hmm.
but it's allowing his friend to give interview, like more interview style. But then also just them hanging out. They went to their old high school, so they have a shorter spot that's like the trailer that
Mm-hmm.
they have on social. But then there's also a longer spot, and this is an extension of the "We All Everyone Needs Someone"
Mm-hmm.
campaign. But just taking it a leg further, I thought we should mention it just because we talked about the campaign on
Yeah.
here. It's like this campaign has legs and different webs, um, and it's alive. Like I like that it wasn't just that those couple of spots that we talked about last. It seems like this is ongoing.
Yeah. Um, I saw a little bit of it. I saw that it came out, and I think I saw a little bit of it and got distracted. But I mean, I'm not mad at you. Already know how I feel about the campaign as a whole, but like
Hmm.
it exists. It's out there. So like, yeah, I I like
Yeah.
this kind of storytelling around those support systems. Like I think there's in that campaign, Aaliyah Boston is getting her hair done by her mom or something like that. I would love to see a
Hmm.
version of this, like with her and her mom. Um, there was a couple of other athletes in there with their support systems and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's some cool stuff that some cool storytelling they can do with it. I still think the spot itself is soft as shit, but you know, it is what it is.
I thought it was just the the WNBA one that you thought was soft. You
No, I
think
thought the whole
the
thing.
whole?
I thought the whole
Oh
campaign was
God,
soft.
you know.
I think that
Well,
the
listen,
WNBA part was the softest, but
I get it. I understand why you feel that way.
yeah.
Mm, yeah. Cool.
Anything
All
else?
right.
I see another topic down here way at the bottom.
Okay. Yes. Actually, there is something else because when we came back, I failed to mention that the Eagles are the Super Bowl champions. So I know that we're late, but it still remains. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out
Uh-huh.
to Jalen Hurts. Shout out to AJ Brown. Shout out to the whole roster. But here we go.
Shout out to who?
So
Who else specifically? That's it? Just AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts?
no, shout out to Saquon Barkley for sure for his
Whoa.
contributions this
Whoa.
season as a Philadelphia Eagle.
That is a
But
crazy thing to say on April 29th.
here we go. There was a whole entire line that I said after shout out to Saquon Barkley for his contributions to the Eagles during the 2024 NFL season.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I have issue. Saquon was recently golfing with Trump, flew out to somewhere over here in Jersey, I guess. Um, and in response to some of the chatter that was online, he says, if y'all don't understand me, it's not hard to understand. Like, whatever he was saying, something about it's hard to understand that I was golfing with the president, saying, like, President, whoever is in office. Not too long ago, I also golfed with Obama. Not the same thing. And if we at this point in 2025 have to explain to you the issues and the reasons why someone would take issue with you golfing or hanging out or rubbing shoulders with the president, I don't have the words for you. We don't have time to educate you. You're living. How are you not seeing, even if it's not affecting you directly? But I also believe Saquon is someone that grew up around like white people. I think his wife obviously is white.
Not only
She's
is she
also had
white.
some
Oh yeah, I think you're about to hit
issues.
on it. Yeah.
Racism things. I don't know the details, nor do I care for them right now. And then, so also attached to this story, the Eagles went to the White House as a part of, they win the Super Bowl. A lot of sports teams do this once they're champions. Who was not there? Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, CJ Gardner Johnson. There were like a good dozen of Eagles that did not attend. And yeah, that speaks volumes. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that, like, Saquon, we welcome you, as a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Like, you're a beast on court, but what is this? What is this? So obviously, like, this is a story. Maybe it'll die down by the time next season comes, but here we are.
I'm not gonna forget, but you know.
I mean, I'm not going to be rooting against him, though.
I'm not,
So, like, how's
but
that
I'm
gonna
also not
work?
surprised. Like to your point, we don't have to get
Yeah.
into exactly what was said, but from seeing the behavior of his wife and the behavior that he clearly co-signs, this wasn't a shock to me at all. But
Yeah.
not surprised, but definitely disappointed.
Yeah. Well, that's what we have in this week's Above the Fold. Now we're going to move into Guess That Spokesperson. This week, Janelle, you give me the brand and the clues, and I am going to guess who the spokesperson is.
All right. So this week the brand is Gatorade.
Are you serious? Did you plan this?
Huh?
Obviously, you planned this.
What do you mean? Did
Go
I
ahead.
plan it?
But like the fact that we just talked about.
Yeah, that it came. It was
The
a
whole-
direct response. It
Okay.
came directly out of that. Okay. So this spokesperson was the first rapper to win the Kennedy Center honors in 2017. He launched a clothing line using his real name in the mid 2000s. And he's hosted the Grammy Awards more times than any other musician. I think these clues are fairly easy. I do have an extra one if you do get stumped, but we'll see. You get 3 yes or no questions.
Oh, rapper. Hosted the Grammys more than any other musician. Launched a clothing line.
And the clothing line was like his real name. In the mid 2000s.
What was the last one? What was the
And
first
he was the first rapper to win the Kennedy Center honors.
one? In 2017. Is this individual still favorable in the public eye?
Favorable, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is not him. So it's not Sean John.
No. Not Sean John.
Is this individual also an actor?
Yes.
Was he in Deliver Us from Eva?
He was.
LL Cool J.
Good job. What gave it away? The Grammy Awards? You looked it up, didn't you?
Yeah. My hands.
No,
were
not
here
when
the
you
whole
not
time.
when we were talking about the Gatorade stuff.
Oh no, not at all.
So yeah,
Wow.
so a
What was his
tieback.
clothing line?
It's at mid 2000s. He had Todd Smith. I vaguely remember that.
Oh, wow. I do too.
But yeah, when I was doing the research around the Kendrick Gatorade stuff, I told you there was a mistake in the headline around him being like the first musician to whatever. It actually was LL Cool J back in whatever year that was.
Yeah, it was like he did. Yeah, okay. He had one in '98.
Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff. All right. Going with your black ads. That ain't it.
Oh, there's a lot to choose from this time for going with your black ads. I love weeks like that. Going with your black ads. I might have to give it to. Damn, this one's hard. I think I'm gonna give it to either the Met Gala Vogue stuff or the Anthony Edwards courtside activation with Adidas. I don't know. I like.
That's
I'd
good.
say.
That's good.
Yeah. One of the two.
I like that courtside activation out of the two. But I'm going to give it to CoCo and Mule, New Balance, and that whole situation. I love the ingenuity of it all, the freshness of it all. And I'm an avid tennis fan, so it just makes sense. Who you got for? I'm sorry, I didn't even let you finish. That ain't it.
It's fine. I think I got to give it to Supreme again. Like, I don't understand what y'all doing over here. Spike, I get it. Like, get the bag or whatever, but he just strikes me as someone that's a bit more intentional.
Yeah.
And I'm just not seeing the vision.
I'm going to give That Ain't It to Dreamville because you had a remarkable talent that you could have done so much with. And artists have voices. They have vision for themselves. And when they feel comfortable with that, obviously within reason, like lean into that. That's going to get you the best product from the artist. And when you fumble it, you deserve not to have that artist. So I'm wishing Ari Lennox the best, the absolute best. I hope that her career soars. But yeah, That Ain't It, Dreamville. Do better. Do better. All like artist ran labels. Figure out a way. Like if you can't run it, you can be the engine behind it, like as far as the bread. But if you're not able to be the strategy, hand that off to somebody. Or I don't know how it works, but do better.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, y'all. That wraps up episode 75 of Witcha Black Ads. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share the podcast with your friends. Like, yo, check out this podcast I've been listening to. It is dope. Witcha Black Ads. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you're feeling, what you ain't.
Yeah. Share stuff you see out in the world that you want us to talk about.
DM us. Let us know. Sometimes we be like, oh, we missed that. But if you shoot us a message, we'll tap in. But as always, thanks y'all, and we will speak to y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. God, that's what I'm talking about. It was so black ass. It was black ass.